All right. We're coming back up. We're coming back up. Oh, I'm not muted. Okay. All right. Let's get this on the road here. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. I wish that, I do wish, this is going to be really difficult to read, isn't it? Can I zoom in? Yeah, I can. Okay. I really wish there was a way to change, here, can we do this and just change the background color? And make it so, not so fucking murderous on the goddamn eyes. It was 1644.00 and fucking dead last place. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to go back through these really quick. I want to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So I was thinking about, and I probably should have did this in the first place. And I'm going to change this. I'm just going to go summary. Because there's too many hits and misses on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through here really fast. I'm going to re-rank these, and I want to see if the ranking based off of individual pieces on this match kind of what I expected to see, and match what the final rankings on these ended up actually being. So I'm going to do these as a 1 through 5, just because it makes kind of sense that way. Just push this aside so it's not so glaring on the eyes. I'm doing this on an OLED, and yeah, well, sometimes when you do shit like this on an OLED, it doesn't necessarily come across very well. So there we go. Okay. So I'm going to try to be brief on these. So I'm going to rank these on 1 to 5 for each one of these 5 categories. I separated story and characters, even though they're kind of they kind of go side to side, but I think characters are important for these types of games. And you could have a good story and shit characters, and it ruins the game. So when it comes to 1, the story is, and I have to rank these looking back, not from the point where the game came out, because obviously story was not a huge thing back in 1987. So the story for 1 is as basic as you can get. It's not very good, although they do throw the little twist in the end with the time. I mean, that's innovative 40 years ago. So I'm going to give this a 2. The characters, unfortunately, for Final Fantasy 1, the characters are meaningless because they're all the same. You can pick and choose. You're putting the characters in there. So you can't give that any more than a 1. There's no better story in Killing Chaos. I mean, it's not a horrible story, but it's not a fault of the game specifically. It's a fault of the time. But I'm comparing these. Otherwise, why is 1 so low on the list? Otherwise, wasn't 1, there wouldn't be a 2 or a 3 or 4. So yeah. Combat, it's fine. You're pretty. I'm gonna say this because 1 through 6, well, 1, 2, and 3, the combat is more or less the same for all 3 of these. And it uses the typical, turn-based. At least we did the pixel remasters where you don't have to deal with the, where if you're fighting a group of mobs and you target the first mob and it dies, that your target gets redirected to a different mob. Remember, the originals did not do that. The NES versions 1, 2, and 3, if you attack a mob and it dies and there's still another mob and you go to attack, it's just a miss. At least we don't have to deal with that, and we're not going to judge it on that. Otherwise, it'd take it down a notch. I'm just going to give it a 3. It's very average. It's fine. Um, it's fine. You know, it does have things like elemental weaknesses, which is nice. The status elements in one are not so over the top that it's fucky and it's hard to deal with. We'll talk about that when we get to 2. Gameplay, I'm considering gameplay basically everything outside of combat. So this includes the like overworld and the systems in place. So like Final Fantasy 1, how do you get magic? You have to buy it. Gear, you buy it. Some treasure chests. Standard experience gain. Like this is very standard, typical shit. This is not, you know, it's again, it's fine. It's totally average. It's average. It's totally average. And these 3 games are pretty much all the same when it comes to that, with one exception. We'll get to that here in a second. Is Final Fantasy 1 a fun game? No, it's not. It's not really a fun game. I don't think it's a very fun game. I'm gonna give it a 2. Like I could pick it up right now and play it, and it'd be okay. But it's not a game that I will go out of my way to play at this stage. It's just not that good of a game. It's really not. If you compare it to all the others, like it's a little bit shorter. I will say this with like the gameplay, at least it leads you in the right direction for the most part. You have to talk to people sometimes to get hints and stuff, but it kind of leads you the correct way to go. So you don't have to worry about like huge like blind going to places like you do in some of these other games. So as a summary, it's average. It is. It's average. Final Fantasy 2. This one's going to look weird because I'm going to give a couple of these a little bit higher rankings than 1, even though I hate this game. The story is better. It's a little bit better than they realized that they needed to actually put in some, you know, make the story a little bit broader, and they did that. I think the story is fine in 2. Like there's a clear focus on what you're supposed to do. On that, characters, I'm gonna give that one a +1 as well because actual characters that meant something. And they didn't have any backstory. That's why I'm not going to go any higher than that. So you don't really fill in the gap. There's no real backstory to them, but they're characters with different personalities, with clearly different personalities. Yeah, dude. We'll talk. Stick around 20 minutes. We'll get to all the highlights and lowlights. Spoiler: there's very few lowlights or very few highlights and a lot of lowlights. Hence the ranking. Combat in 2 is, I'm gonna say, worse than 1. It's basically the same combat. We're not gonna talk about the combat system. That comes in gameplay. It's basically the same combat, but Final Fantasy 2 has that fucking... They have that paralyzed lock, poisons everywhere. The paralyzed lock is the big one. Where you can get status elemented to death in this game. And it's real fucking annoying. So it's the same as 1 with a step down. We're going to give that a 2. Gameplay, instant 1. Instant 1. Why? Because the fucking level up system is the worst on this list. If it was in my rules to give it a 0, I'd give that a 0. But the level up system where it's skill based is atrocious. And because of that, it is not a fun game at all. And for the summary on this, you tried. Blue ribbon. You get a blue ribbon that says you tried. 3. Story better than one. Is it actually better than two? Yeah, it's better than two. They finally they put a lot in behind the scenes for this to make that work. We're gonna say it's on par with two. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say that's on par with two. It's a decent story. They have a backstory with the Warriors of Darkness, and they do that. The characters, unfortunately, have to give that a one because they fall kind of in the same category as. You know what? No, they have no backstory. The characters are meaningless. They could basically they're all the same character. Um, there is no backstory with them. Uh, yeah, there's no real backstory at all. In fact, did we name them? Did the Pixel remaster? We name them, don't we? Because we don't do. Yeah, they're the same as in one, so you have to grade it the same as in one. Combat slightly better in this game because it uses the job system. However, I finished it finally.
Oh, you did finish.
Thank God. I'm going doing a summary right now.
Okay.
So, Combat in 3 is interesting because we have the job system. So the job system is a plus, but there's a minus here. Is because they shoehorn the job system into certain fights. There are some fights in 3. The Garuda fight is what I'm thinking of specifically, where you have to go out of your way and you have to do 4 Dragoons, which means you have to gear 4 Dragoons for that one fight, and that one fight only. And they do that a few times in that game. So that brings it back down. Which means it's kind of on the same level as 3, or I'm sorry, as 1. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm a little iffy on that one. That one actually could have gone down a little bit. Gameplay. We have our first job system, and the job system is the best. Is it a perfect job system? Absolutely not. It is not a perfect job system, but it's better if we're using. My ring just fell off my finger. Where the hell? Where the hell? Well, I was twiddling. Where'd it go? I don't want to run over it. I don't see it anywhere.
Pick up your feet.
You don't see. Oh, I see it. I see it. It's way under. I see it.
Watch your head.
Yep. Sorry about that. I was twirling my ring on my finger and it fell off. So I'm gonna give this a 4. The job system is definitely worthwhile. It makes it a much funner game than the system in 3. Otherwise, the systems are identical. You buy spells in 3, or you buy spells, you buy gear. It's basically the same system with just a better gameplay. The fun factor, I don't think 3 is that good of a game. Like, it's not a fun game. I'm gonna give it a 2, and I'm gonna say jobs, yay. Because if it wasn't for the job system, 3 would be kind of a shit game. I will say this, playing the original on the NES is so much worse. Especially if you're doing a blind playthrough, because the first time you go through there and you get to the top of Crystal Tower and you worked your fucking ass off to get there. You worked your ass off to get to the very top of Crystal Tower and you're like, oh, finally I'm done. And you get to the very top and you get to that room and you step forward because there's a door right in front of you. You step into that door and you see the cloud of darkness and she one-shots your fucking ass. And guess what? In the original NES version, there's no quick save. There's no saves anywhere in there. You have to start the entire Crystal Tower over again. It's not very fun. Final Fantasy IV. Near and dear to my heart. The reason why it's the quickest game on the list is because we played it a lot of times. Obviously, this is the first of the series where story is the focus. And 4 story's good. It's not the greatest, but it's good. It's good. Um, it's intriguing. You know, there's some twists and turns, and you know, it's your typical. It's what you would expect from an RPG. Like it's your typical JRPG story, but it's a good version of it. We're gonna give it a 4. Characters are decent, a little bland. Other than Palom and Porum, and probably Kane, the characters are a little bland. Maybe Sid. They're fine. They're fine. We're gonna give that a 3. Combat ATB is now in play, and this is gonna be the same for 4, 5, and 6. They're all pretty much the same in regards to the combat. ATB is the best combat system out there. I mean, I love turn based, but for a game like this, it's good. You also with combat, you have classes. This is it has a class based system to it as well, because you have like Cecil as a paladin can use white magic. You have black mages. You have summoners. Specific combat, which you don't see in a lot of these games. Like this is the first game that has it specific to the characters, the combat system. So we're gonna give this a decent. Yeah, we're gonna give that a 4. Gameplay. It's experience, buy shit, open treasure chests type thing. There's nothing major about it. I do kind of like the learning spells via experience versus learning spells with everything else, but the one thing the gameplay does give you is that it does give you a very clear path. The overworld is designed to follow the breadcrumbs. It's really difficult to get lost. It really leads you all the way through the entire game, start to finish. You go to here, you go to here, you go to here. So they did a good job of laying things out. I'm gonna give it a 3. It's not great. The fun factor, honestly, and I'm gonna be a little biased on this one. I love this game, and it's because it's the first one I really played. It holds up today to a point. It's kind of easy, especially when you learn it and you learn to get past everyone. The Pixel Remaster threw a little curveball in. Zero Miss in the Pixel Remaster is much harder because of the way that the fast ATB system works in the Pixel Remaster. It's probably the hardest version of that fight that there is, but it's still fine. I'm going to give it a 4, and I'm going to say rose tinted glasses. I love that game. 5. Story's okay. Honestly, I think the story's a step down. I think the story is the step down from 4, and that's what we're comparing this to. I think it's a step down. It's fun. There's a lot of fun elements, but it's okay. I mean, that's fine. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention, too, when I talk about the characters, I'm going to talk about the characters, both the good guys and the bad guys, which, again, in this case, none of this really applies until we get to 4 plus. But the villains are just important as the people you play as. The characters in 5 are not good. Again, they're fun. There's humor. Not that good, though. It's really not that good. I'm going to take a step down on that. They're just not. The only like, oh my God, is the fact that What's Her Nuts is a woman, and you find that out 3 hours into the game. And that they're sisters, which you knew that instantly, even though they don't drop that on you for another 3-4 hours after that. It's like they're hinting it heavily. Combat's good. Job-based system. We're going to talk about the job is in gameplay. Combat's much better in this game than it is in 3. It does have a few issues in the early game combat. There's a lot of weird math involved. Go back and watch part 1 and 2 of the playthrough of 5. I talk a lot about that, where you'll notice that your attacks always do like an even number. Like it always does 4 or 8 or 16. And it's their factors of, and it's that way for the first half of the game. And it's a little weird. But it's fine. It's good combat because of the job system. Gameplay, because of the job system. Not only is this a good job system, but this is obviously the best job system that they've done, outside of tactics. There are other things. I mean, so we have job system, job experience, character experience. You're still buying your weapons. You're still opening chests. You buy your magic again. So it takes it down a little bit. This could never be a 5, but I'm gonna give that a 4. I feel like that's, yeah. The problem with 5, again, I don't think it's a very good game. Like, it's a game you can pick up. The story is not great. X-Death is a bad villain. The only fun thing about X-Death is when he turns into a splinter. And that's hilarious. But if you take that out, it's not a very fun game. It's not a game I pick up to replay very often. So I'm going to say 2. And I'm going to say jobs only beaten by Final Fantasy Tactics. Job system in there is so good. The job system in 5 is so good because it has the sub-job system. So good. Chef's kiss. The rest of the game is kind of shit. 6. Our highest ranked game on this list. Why is it the highest ranked game on this list? Because it has an amazing fucking story. I'm not going to give out many 5s on here. That story is top notch. So much good about that story. The way that it develops, and there's so much conflict from different angles. And what makes the story great? Great fucking characters. The characters in this game all have deep backstory to them, with a few exceptions. Go-Go and, even like Shadow, he's got a big backstory if you hunt for it. You can find it in the game. Gao has got backstory. It's got the best villain in any Final Fantasy game. Shout outs to Kefka. Best villain in any Final Fantasy game. You know what else? It's got the best comic. Ooh. Yeah, best comic. 1 and 1A for Gilgamesh. Ultros. Best. So good. So good. Love me some Ultros. Characters in this game are ridiculously good and very deep. Combat, it's the same ATB system with a few little tweaks. It's got the same class system that 4 has. It's not perfect. I'm gonna give it a 4. I don't know if we're gonna give 5 to any job system, combat system in this game on this list. We might not. The gameplay is. So the gameplay system, similar. We get experience. We have the Magicite system, which is a good way of learning magic. You also get the Magicite summons, a good way to learn. Again, we have class-based, different characters, have different class-based systems. It's, again, something you don't see that often with these games. A mix and match of things. It's the best ATB system of the 3 because it's a little bit more fluid.
I should have known better.
And the reason I'm not going to give it a 5 is that there are some parts of this that are broken. Like Bum Rush is ridiculously broken, and you can get it very quick in the game, in the second half of the game. Oh, by the way, story. Forgot to mention the fact that the good bad guy wins in the middle of the game. So good. That's why that story is the best on the series. So I'm gonna say 4 on the gameplay. It's pretty much it's the best of the ATBs. It's got a few flaws, but it's pretty fucking good. Um, and I mean, we're talking with the Magistite system is very good. You can do a lot of customizations. The Magistite bonus system is huge. It's got a few flaws. Again, it might be a little bit too easy to do some of it. Okay, what was our time? 13 hours, for just under 14 hours, and we only really leveled 4 characters. Yeah. And we just went through Kefka's Tower 3 times. And then we just beat Kefka. Yeah. There's a few issues with it, but it's pretty good. Fun factor, it's an all-timer. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, even the ending is great because you get to see little bits and pieces about every character as you go through. It's so good. So fucking good. I mean, there's no shocker that it's 1 or 2. Pretty much everybody that plays through these, it's a 1 or a 2. The summary on this is the first time I played this, I didn't save Shadow. This is before the internet was really a thing. I had internet access, but like your game FAQs didn't exist in 1994. So yeah. And then you go back through and you're like, where the fuck is Shadow at? Oops. I didn't know. All right, let's go to 7. I'm not going to give out many 5s, but I'm going to give you one for here. Again, obviously the better stories give you the better experiences. This is Magic Machine sounds dumb as yeah. Oh god, so good. So good. So fucking good. I was sick for 3 days when this game came out. Sick for 3 days when this game came out. I didn't go to school. Fuck that. I was too busy. So anyway, characters. Oh, I'm sorry. Story 5. It's very, very, very good. I would say it's probably just a smidge below 6 in story, but the fact that you start the game as fighting the man, and as you slowly discover that there's something else going on and how the game pivots, again, you get through Midgar pretty early, and that's the Shinra story for the most part. Like, you're done with that in the first third of the game, and then the game expands heavily, and you're like, holy shit, this is enormous. We get the gameplay, we'll talk about that. Characters. Some of the best characters, again, great. Every character's got a backstory. Not only does every character have a backstory, but every character has a backstory that you can play through to get the information on. When we played through it, we didn't do anything with Vincent. Vincent has a backstory. You can play through it. It's optional content. You can play through it. Everybody, even Kate Sith, who is not, obviously it's a person behind that, but that there's character development in every single way you go. It's so good. Sephiroth, great villain. Not the best villain. Kefka still wins, but a very, very, very good villain. Some of the side, like Shinra themselves. Sorry, I was putting Kefka back up. Like the Shinra, Hojo, great villain. Better in Remake and Rebirth. They did an amazing job with Hojo. Like, you hate Hojo in Remake. Yeah, it is, the character development is so good. Oh, it's so good. Love it. Combat. So we have the the materia system. We'll talk about that more in gameplay. The materia system is very similar to the magicite system. A little bit more customization. You can kind of mix things up as the game progresses. One thing we haven't noticed, one thing I haven't mentioned, 4 characters, 4 characters, 4 characters, 5 characters, 4 characters, 4 characters, 3 characters. I prefer the 4 character system than the 3 character system. Because I feel like you can do just a little bit more with 4 characters. Hey, we found a plus for 15. You have 4 characters. It's not playable. We found a plus for 15. The drop to 3 characters, you do feel it a little bit, but the fact that you can turn any character into a magic user or a healer or just a heavy damage, and the mixing and matching you can do with the materia makes the combat really good. The bosses in this game are very good. There's a few bosses I don't care for because they this does have a small spiky when it comes to a few bosses. Materia Keeper, the Red Dragon, and Demon Wall, they're kind of in the same section. There's a couple more bosses that give you they're a little bit cheesy sometimes. So I'm not going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 4. I don't think I'm going to give a 5 in combat at all. Maybe we might in 1. There's one we might. Gameplay. Again, this is the materia system, which is very customizable. I do like the way that the materia system and the weapons work in conjunction with each other. They did a really good job there. Unfortunately, this is still the same. Find them in treasure chests. Get a few on bosses. Buy your weapons. Buy your armor. It's pretty much the same for every one of these until we get later down the road. It's really good. The overworld in 7 is fantastic. It's big, but it's intentionally big because I think they want you to judge on how the scope of the world is. It's like you're a little person in this big fucking world. And I think that the gameplay on that side does, sometimes it's maybe a little bit too far when you're walking from point to point, but they give you chocobos if you want to use them. Side content for days. I'm trying to find a reason not to give this a 5. Can't really think of one. I don't see many flaws. Can there be improvements? Of course, there can be little improvements, but the systems, your UI, the materia themselves, the equipping system, the way you learn limit breaks kind of sucks. That's kind of in combat though. The limit break system is more in combat than gameplay. I'm not a huge fan of the limit break system, but it's not bad. Yeah, I can't think of anything to say bad about it. Like I can't say anything really bad to say about it. The fun factor. It's not as fun as 5. It's not as fun as 6. I think 6 is funner than 7. But at the same time, it's so good. Like I could, you know what though? Okay, here's the difference, and this is why I'm gonna knock it 1 point. I could at any random day wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to fire at Final Fantasy VI and start it from scratch. I don't feel the same about 7. Because if you're going to play through 7, if you're playing through just to beat it like what we did, then, you know, it's a longer game. There's a lot of stuff to do. But if you're playing it to hundo it, to do everything, there's so much side content. That's probably another reason to give that a 5 in gameplay, is that there's so much side content. There's a little bit too much side content, to be honest with you. Like the gold chocobos take forever to breed. No, I just need. Oh no, we finished. Yeah. You stick around for a few more minutes. We're just going over a summary. You can see where it ranked. I'm gonna give this a 4, but I feel really bad about it. I'm gonna give that a 4, but I feel really bad about it. Like, I feel like I should give that a 5, but I just can't quite. Just because it's not quite as good as, again, I don't think I'll pick up 7 again for years. I will pick up 6 again and just pick it up and just play it. So the summary is, the first time I didn't save shit. The summary of this game is, a precursor to AI data centers eating all data center, sucking the planet dry. They were onto something. Sucking it dry. Welcome to reality. Final Fantasy VIII. When we went into this, and I mentioned this when we started it, and I mentioned it a dozen times while we were playing it, the reason I decided to do this entire replay, because I hadn't played Final Fantasy VIII in 25 years, and I hadn't finished 15. Those were the 2 games I wanted to go through. I wanted to give them fair shakes, play through them again, and say to myself, you know what, maybe they weren't as bad as I thought. 8 disappointed me immensely. Not as much as 15 did, but disappointed immensely. The story had potential in this game. And then it got real fucking weird. Like, real fucking weird. It had potential originally. I think the concept of the story in 8 is actually not that bad. And then it went off the rails. Went off the rails in a big way. And I'm going to give it a 2. It's just not very good. It's not very good. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And there's a lot of scenarios where you're like, so much of this could have been avoided if somebody had just said something. Yeah. So, yeah, it's bad. Like, I was really disappointed in playing it through again and realizing all the tidbits when it came to the story. Like, the best thing that they could have had was the Laguna side story, and it just is dumb. It wasn't needed. I understand what it was there for, but it's stupid. It's just kind of stupid. Characters. So you've got Emo Kid. You've got Makes Horrible Decisions. You've got teachers trying to hit on the students. You've got...
What?
Oh, yeah.
What game?
Us, 8. You've got, I'm going to shove 10 hot dogs in my mouth at the same time. You've got fails at every job that he does. You literally have 2 jobs in the entire game and you fail them both. You are 100% worthless. And Selfie. And then there's Selfie. I can't think of anything bad to say about Selfie. Selfie's fine. Selfie. Selfie's probably the best character in the game. She's the least flawed, that's for fucking sure. the Cid in that game is shit. He's he's literally abusing kids. The sorceress is okay, but there's she's bad, she's good, she's bad, she's good, she's a tweener. The bosses in this game are not very good. That's just a hard one. That's a hard one. Like, I have a hard time finding worse characters in a Final Fantasy game than Final Fantasy VIII. Every character in that game is, except for Selphie. I don't have anything bad to say about Selphie. She's just there. Is so bad. It's garbage. Combat. Oh boy, combat. Oh, Cypher's in the game. You know, Cypher's fine. Cypher's fine. I don't mind Cypher. So there's two characters. Raijin and Fujin or whatever. Okay, Laguna and Rain are fine. Combat. So, I don't know if we should list this under combat or as under gameplay. I think this is more of a combat thing. The level scaling ruins this game completely. It's why it's a speedrunner's dream. Riona, by the way, was make horrible decisions. That was, if you didn't figure that one out. Combat is, because of the way that the scaling works in this game and the fact that you have to draw magic and the fact that we beat the game effectively, intentionally going... Sorry, can't figure out. That could have been many. Considering that you can't beat... we beat the game at 1 health and intentionally at 1 health. And the speed run goes through it. Because all we did was we just got squalled to 1 health and then just limit breaked over and over and over and over and over and over. Because that combat is so fucking bad. It's so miserably bad. No, Kistis is hits on students. When your teacher hits on you, you got a problem. The combat in 8 is so fucking bad. It's so bad. And I just realized when we're done with this, I've got a little thing we're going to do. I'm going to realize 8 is going to rank worse than some of these other ones are going to be. Gameplay. Oh, the combat. The Guardian Forces. Like, again, you could just spam GFs for the majority of the game and it just works. Gameplay. For the first time, we have a different system for weapons. Brand new weapon system. You don't just buy your weapons anymore. Now you have to craft them. It's a great change. There's a problem with it. We played through the entire game and didn't change any of them, and we didn't even notice. I forgot about the crafting system. I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it until the very end. And like, oh, we didn't even do anything. You don't need to, because the combat is broken, because you just don't level intentionally and you just beat everything. The draw system is shit. However, the junction system is not shit. The junction system with the draw system it's a good and a bad. You have to do the draws, but the junctions make it even it out. So that's not a bad thing, because then you can customize for certain fights. And yes, what you just said there, the problem is, the game, if you go into the game not knowing that leveling a monster scales, you're just going to kill everything like you've done in every Final Fantasy game. And it's going to get to a point where the game gets really fucking difficult unless you over level. Or you know the tricks to how to beat things with with junctioning, breaking things with the junction system. but I'm going to give it a little bit of a plus. I like the junction system. There's one other thing this game's got that's giving it a huge plus. We get Triple Triad. Triple Triad's great. I have nothing bad to say about Triple Triad. So as much as I want to dock this on the gameplay really, really low, I'm actually going to give it a 3. Maybe a 2. If I was doing fractions, it'd be a 2.5. But I'm going to give it a passable grade because it's not bad. Yeah, there are some goods in the way that certain things. Okay, random spread through. Yeah. I get the rules, but the game itself is fantastic. It's the second best card game in Final Fantasy behind Queen's Blood. So I'm so glad they're bringing back Queen's Blood. Can't wait. They're gonna expand on it, make it better. Oh, fucking can't wait. I will never play Final Fantasy VIII again. I will never play Final Fantasy VIII again. I wanted that game to be over with. I thought I wasn't going to hate a game more until we just finished 15 today. Irvine has no redeeming qualities and is a waste of oxygen. Irvine's the worst character in Final Fantasy. He is the worst. He's so bad. He's so bad. So bad. Final Fantasy IX. Very good story. Of course, 9 was the love letter to the Final Fantasy community because they knew they were going to be changing in a huge way, and they did. Very, very good story. I will say this. When we replayed it the second time, or this time, it's like my 4th or 5th time playing through it, I was a little bit lost in the story. And when you compare it to 6 and 7, it's not as good. So it's a very good story, but it's not a great story. Unfortunately, and we should just talk about it here because it's not a combat problem. It is a story problem. This is the first real game where they do the bait and switch on the villain, and I fucking hate that. Kuja was great. Necron can suck balls. So there are definitely good aspects of this. The story is there. There's good humor in the story that's more character driven, but we'll get to that here in a second. It's a good story. I don't treat Zero-Miss as a bait and switch because they hint that there's a power above Golbez about halfway through the game. They start hinting it about halfway through the game. And then by 2/3 of the way through the game, they tell you straight up, there's somebody above Golbez. You just don't know who it is yet. Eva? You hungry? Come eat your food. Please, it's stinky. There you go, puppy. So I'm going to say that's a 4. It could have been better, but it's very, very good. The characters, good. I think that the villains are great. I don't even include Necron as a villain because he's just there. Kuja's good. Kuja's great. Kuja's a great villain. The Queen, very good villain, except of course you don't. I mean, she don't fight her. She's just kind of there. Zorn and Thorn are annoying as fuck, but still good. Zidane, your average, not great character. The Garnet character is very good. Steiner is fantastic. Vivi, MVP. M fucking VP Vivi. So good. Um, very good. The rest of them, they kind of just fill in. They have a little bit of backstory. Like Amaranth could be anybody. Like you could take Amaranth out of the game wouldn't change. You could take Kuna out of the game really wouldn't change. You need everybody else. So the characters themselves are good. They're not great. There's some flaws. So we're gonna give it another 4. Combat's interesting in this game. There's a huge flaw in the combat system in this game, and I don't know if we should ding it or not. I'm going to ding it. So I'm going to ding the combat a little bit, and the reason I'm going to ding it is the speed of the combat in this game is awkward. Yes, you can change the speed and you could make it faster, which we found out. I forgot you could do that. The problem with the ATB in this game is things get queued in a weird way. Sometimes the ATB goes so fast that you get things in the queue, but you don't know when the enemies get theirs in the queue. Because you have competing ATBs. You can see yours, you can't see theirs. And theirs gets queued immediately. Yeah, and I was gonna mention that. And even when you speed it up, it's a little bit awkward with the way that things kind of weave their way in. Also, this has the worst limit break system in the series because trance is worthless. Trance is just garbage. If you get it in your fight, fantastic, it works. I don't even mention the limit break. I don't even know if people realize that 6 has a limit break. I bet a lot of people do not even realize that 6 has a limit break system. We played through that entire game, didn't get it once. You usually won't get it in a playthrough. Because people don't even know it's there. If you don't know this, if you are near death, you have a chance when you attack to do a limit break in 6. If you're doing a normal attack, and it's like a 10 times attack. Yeah. Yeah, it's there, but no one ever goes out of the way to use it. I don't even know if the game talks about it. Yeah, I've seen them, but you can't depend on it. It's too difficult to maintain. And then of course, I think the combat in this, it just seems a little awkward. There's also there's a difficulty curve issue in 9 where it goes up very fast near the end. I'm going to ding that a little bit. I'm going to give that a 3. The gameplay system is fine. This using the gear system to learn your abilities. Which is similar to 6's ability. 6's with Magicite, 7 use Materia, 9 uses gear. It's a little less fun. The good thing is when you learn it, you can pass it off to somebody else, similar that you can with Magicite. And there is a crafting system, even though it's not very good. There is a crafting system in here. The trance limit break in 9, it does, yeah, you're right. It deals with the story a little bit, even though they shouldn't, but yeah, they have to do it that way. I'm going to say the gameplay on this is going to be a 3. It's pretty average. The gear up to abilities is not a great system. Yeah. The fun factor, though, this is a very fun game. This is a very, very fun game. This would be a game that, again, I could just pick up and play. Oh, gameplay gets another dock because of Terramaster. Terramaster is shit. Especially compared to Triple Triad. Terramaster is just not good. You play it that one time because you have to. Um, and then catching frogs. I mean, we're not doing that. It's a fun game though. I'm gonna give this a 4. Um, the mini games are pretty bad in 9. Again, it's those two. It's Terra Master and like the frog catching game. I think those are the only. Oh, there's another one in there too, isn't there? Oh, well, there's the one in the beginning of the game. Chocobo Hot and Cold, right? Which I didn't even do. Yeah, Chocobo Hot and Cold. Yeah, I didn't even do it. I didn't. I didn't do any of it. It's in there, but I didn't do it. Yeah, there's also that mini line of quests where you have to find all the aliens and feed them ore. But if you miss one, the line just stops. And we did miss one, and it just went away. For the summary of this game is soft. And if you remember that scene, you'll know why it's the best. It's probably the best line of spoken dialogue in all of Final Fantasy, behind Spoony Bard. That is when Garnet is climbing the ladder, and Zidane climbs the ladder behind her and touches her ass. Sorry, that's hilarious. I laugh my ass off every time that comes up. So, Final Fantasy X. It was really difficult to rank 10. It was really difficult to rank 10. Kiva. Step on my keyboard. It's really good. It's got a fantastic story. I think the story in 10 is... It might be the best in the series. And it's because it's a slow-paced game, and you really... The story is the game. It really is what drives the game forward. It's so good. It's so good. And I think the big thing with the story, and it works with the characters, is that the story has got so much emotion. And the twists and the turns in the game are done perfectly in the story. The Titus twist is so properly well placed in the game. I mean, you're playing through it for the first time. You kind of get the Orin thing, but you don't figure Titus out till the end, like right before the ending. And then when you realize what it is and you realize what's going on, you're like, oh shit. Yes, shit's gonna get really like your heart's gonna be pumping. Yeah, yeah. The story, and it is your typical, your the religion, the church side versus the technology side, and you get it from both sides. It's fantastic. It really is fantastic. And the driver is in this case the characters, um, with an exception of Kimari. I think every single playable character in that game has got a huge backstory that they dive into. And maybe Waka's is a little bit low. But yeah, the characters are fantastic. They're very deep. The villains, Seymour, great villain. Not number 1, maybe not number 2 or number 3, but top 5 for sure. Great villain. The fact that you fight Sin, who's Papa at the end of it, ridiculously good. There's no way you can't give the characters in this game a 5. No fucking way. The characters are as close to perfect as you can get. Combat's awkward. So this is going to be personal preference on this. I like turn-based systems where they're real time or they're not real time. your tactics type games. I like those. And this is the only one of these you're going to find on this list. There's no other game on this list that does it. And it does it very well. Now, it is different because you go through it's turn-based, 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 ATB, 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 slow as fuck. Because you can sit there and think about it indefinitely. I fucking did a few times. I think it's a very well played system. It's a little weird at times because sometimes you get your immunities, like if you're doing like quick hits and stuff like that, where it says it's gonna go here, but because they're immune to it, it doesn't, and then it fucks up your strategy, so you have to adjust to that. But all in all, it's very good. I can't give it a 5 though. So I think we're gonna give this a 4 as well. You think about this. There is definitely a difficulty spike in this game. There is a difficulty spike. And it's at a weird spot. We'll talk about Blitzball with gameplay. That's a gameplay part. It's not a combat piece. Status elements are kind of annoying in this game. But the fact that you can use all of your characters at any time and you have to switch back and forth to do certain abilities, yeah, there's no way we can't give it at least a 4. I can't give it a 5. There's a few elements to it that are just a little off. And it could be very frustrating. But the way you get change out characters, you get to do things. You can create strategies that you just didn't have before. Gameplay in 10 is the problem. So this is a game on rails. I do not enjoy games on rails. For a game on rails, this is very, very, very good. But you have to dock it a point for the game on rails. You just have to. It's very well played. It plays very well for being a game on rails. It's a difficult game. This is a very difficult game. It's probably the second. Is this the most difficult game on this list? Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is the most difficult game on the list. I think it is. Yeah, and they get some late ramp ups where it goes like this and then it goes up. Oh, we're gonna talk about 15. I think this is the most difficult game on the list. It's not a bad thing. But there's a few things this game does very poorly. The equip system in this game I do not like. The fact that you can find random weapons laying around, you could buy weapons, but the fact that you're forced to upgrade weapons at certain points. So we didn't do much upgrading for either weapons or accessories for most of this game. We didn't really need to, but at the end of the game, you absolutely have to. And the system's not very good for that. This also has the sphere grid, and god damn it, I hate the sphere grid. It's a poor system. You're going to notice the rest of the way down that every system changes, like the back-end systems. The last 5 of these have a different system to it. I don't like the sphere grid. The blue mage system with Kimari is not very good. So I have to give it a 3. It's not bad, but it's not really very good. The sphere system is a real problem. The sphere grid's a problem, and it forces you to farm in a weird way where you're farming strictly for spheres and you're having to use this abilities to get the ability things to get the ability spheres and the speed ones to get blah, 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 blah. And it gets really annoying. Like, we had to do that a lot at the end just to get the last couple of spheres out of the way. And we didn't run away from combat hardly ever. There was a few things we did, but we did pretty much everything in the game the way that you're supposed to the first time through, and naturally we came up short, and that makes it a little bit difficult. So the fun factor of this game is very good. I don't think this is a game I'm going to pick up again anytime soon. Kiva, what are you doing? Where are you going? Come eat your food, for fuck's sake. Please. Eat your food, because I don't want to be up in the middle of the night. If she doesn't eat, she'll wake me up in the middle of the night wanting food. Come here. Come here. I think it's a fun game. I don't think it's like a super fun game. I'm going to give it a 4 on the fun factor. It's a good game, and I definitely enjoyed my experience all the way through. But I probably won't pick it up again anytime soon. Yeah, I think that's right. And the summary is death metal in FF is awesome. Music's the what's the name of that song? Otherworld. So good. It just sucks that we struggled on the last boss like we did, because we had to listen to that for like 3 hours. But still, I could fire it up right now and I could listen to it. 12. This is the one out of all of these on this list. This is the one that surprised me the most. I had so much fun in this one. I had so much fun in this game. I remember that I enjoyed it the last couple of times I played it, but I hadn't beaten it in 20 years. The story is good. I think the story is good. It's definitely not its strongest point. Yeah, I didn't talk about music because every game in this is awesome. There's not a bad music on this list. Even one, music's fine. I think the story's good. It's definitely not a top 3 story. It's not going to get a 5. There are flaws in the story. I'm going to give it a 4. I think the concept of the story is good. I think the, Ash fighting to restore her place is good. I think there's a few too many MacGuffins in this story. But I do like the fact that this is where the judge system comes into play. Plus the fact that this is placed in Jesus Christ, I can't think of the fucking name of the world. Oh my God, the tactics world. Why is the name escaping me? My brain, 15 fried my evilist. Thank you. 15 fried my brain. My brain, like a goo coming out of it. So it's good. It's good. The story is pretty good. It's definitely got some flaws. Characters is so weird. Characters is so weird because Vaughn is awful. Pinello is annoying. Bosch and Ash are very average. And Fran and Balthier are amazing. Balthier is like the second best character in Final Fantasy behind Vivi. The characters the characters on the playable side are good. The villains are okay. Vane makes a pretty decent villain. The judges as a whole make a decent villain. Sid's character's not great. Sid's got some issues with the characters. Kiva, what are you doing? There's a few issues with some of the villains, but it's still pretty good. I think the characters as a whole is more of a plus than a minus. Balthier and Fran carry this to the moon. Their dialogue is spot on. Something we didn't talk about is voice dialogues began here with 10 and 12, and we carry it the rest of the way. The voice dialogue in 10, I forgot to mention, is pretty good. Even with ha 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 ha. The voice dialogue in 12 is very, very good. And again, I think Balthier and Fran carry that. We're going to give it a 4. Combat. Boy. I like the combat system because you can micromanage. You're also... you also have the ability, the same thing you do with 10, where you can switch characters and out. I like that a lot. The Gambit system drives this, and if you go out of your way to set up the Gambit system, you are just cruising through this game. I'm not a huge fan of the Gambit system. I didn't really do a lot of customization with it. I set it up when I needed to for heals, and that was kind of it. And then just kind of micromanaged my way through it. And then on like the last few fights, really, really had to micromanage it. Had to do it heavily. So I think it's good. I think Selling Mats is fine because this is a very open world game. This is the first true open world game, like super open world game on this list, where it is completely wide open. And it feels more like an MMO than like a single player game. And by selling mats, selling your spoils to get money is fine. So I'm going to give it a 4 on the combat. It's never going to be a 5. I think the Gambit system, even though we didn't use it, is a plus. Oh, wait. There is one issue, and that is the mist system. So the mist system is you can one-shot any boss. So when you get to the license grid and you can start opening up your mists, oh yeah, that makes, yeah. You can flee a lot of shit in that game and just, again, very open world. You can just get there. So I think with the combat system, the mist system is weird. It's a mini game inside of the game. And as a mini game, it's very simple and it's not great, but it's not bad. But you can one hit, and I mean, we were just one hitting all bosses until like 10 hours in. The summon system is broken. And by that, I mean it's bad. I don't think we ever summoned in this game. Did we ever summon? Oh, you know what? I summoned once to take a hit. To take a hit. Similar to the way that you do it with 13. I think I did it once. So the summons are worthless. I don't know if that's a combat flaw or if it's a gameplay flaw, but the summons are completely worthless. And there's that one spot in the game where you have to make a summon to open a door, and anyway, I'm gonna leave combat at 4, but I think it's gonna weigh more heavily on 3 or on gameplay. So the gameplay is, I'm not going to include the Gambit system in the gameplay because the Gambit system is more of a combat driven thing, even though you need the licenses for the Gambit system. But the license system sucks. The license system is garbage. It's really bad. I do not like the license system at all. I think it's a horrible way to get... You're forcing yourself to do certain things to get gear upgrades, and then you still have to buy the gear and the magic and all that. I think is shit. I do not like the gear system or the license system at all. Again, we already talked about the Gambit system. The the rest of the game though is very good. Again, it's very open world, and the open worldness of it really shines. The ability to use the crystals to teleport back and forth, make it feel more like an MMO, and you have to do it at some points. And so you don't have to travel around. It's a great way of doing inner world travel. The license system really brings it down. And the miss system again works. The summon system works with the license system. The Zodiac part of it works a little bit better, but honestly, it's kind of wasted. I noticed that playing through the full Zodiac system is that they're kind of meaningless. It's like you don't need it. It customizes it, makes it a little bit better, but you don't need it. We're gonna give it a 3. I think the gameplay could have been better. I think the open world, you could just run around and farm shit. It's also got the hunt system. Now, we didn't do the hunts, but the hunt system is very good. We just decided not to do it. That's on us, not on them. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. It is one of those games. Again, when we finished that game and we gave it a ranking, we talked about this when we finished it in the credits. I could literally have fired it up the next day and went back to do some of the shit like the hunts and to do other things, and I would have been fine with it. I would have enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed playing it. It's a fun game. I think it's a very fun game. I was surprised that it ranked as high as it did. I really was. I was definitely surprised that it ranked as high as it did. And my comment on this is, I want to be a sky pirate when I grow up. We do need to talk about one thing. I'm not gonna. Ooh, that's already in gameplay. I already knocked it. There's that one fucking dungeon near the end where we spent like 3 hours in there. Yeah. That was the first and only time I was upset playing that game. That being said, also with combat, the Vayne fight, the end fight, is very, very good. If you go back and rewatch, or if you were here to watch what we did on that one, we got through that fight by the skin of our teeth. And we had to micromanage the shit out of that fight. And we squeezed every ounce of juice out of that lemon, and we killed it with this much left in our tank. It was a super good fight. Final Fantasy 13. I still don't understand the story of Final Fantasy 13. Still don't. I just don't understand it for the most part. I kind of get it, but it just doesn't make a ton of sense. It doesn't make a ton of sense. That's what we were just talking about. It's like 2 or 3 hours we were there. It was one full session. It was one full session. Yeah, it was like 2.5 to 3 hours. Because we knew that we had to click on the purple thing, and there was 2 of them. There was this shade of purple and then this shade of purple, and they were very close together. One was a little bit more red, and we were just clicking on the wrong one, but they looked so close. 13, story is very poor. Do you notice we haven't given a 1 yet on story? Am I about to give my first 1 on the story? I might be giving my first 1 on the story. It's not a very good story. No, I'm not going to give it a 1 because the ending, I actually like the ending. I like how they ended the game. The problem with the story is it's very convoluted. It's very difficult to follow. Um, Up and down, it's like you don't fully understand certain elements of it. Um, I'm gonna give it a 2. I like the ending. I do like the ending. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Characters other than Saz and his chocobo, so much in this game could have been saved if Vanille and Fang had just said something. So much of this game could have been just avoided. And it was intentionally left back to grow conflict. Lightning is fine. Snow is fine. Hope is Hope is Hope is in the game. He is a character in the game. The bosses are not very good. And by the bosses I mean the characters are not very good. I just have to give a 1. They're so very. Saz can't carry it. He cannot carry it. I think the characters in this game are very, very bad. Saz is really good, but he's not Balthier. He's not Vivi. You can't carry this. And the reason that the story is as bad as it is like just the characters. You just don't want to. You don't want to. Yeah, you just don't want to. Oh, combat. So much potential. So much potential. As a combat system, I think the game is good. I think the combat system is actually pretty good. The switching between systems and what you have to do for the combat for the bosses is actually very good. When you get past the midpoint, with a couple exceptions, through the game, the combat gets better and better and better and better and better, and you're forced to make adjustments on the fly, and you're forced to do things you wouldn't normally do. It's like raiding in an MMO, and they do it incredibly well. I would even, I shit you not, if it wasn't for one part of the game, and we did talk about this, I might even give this my only 5. I think the combat is, for what is built, is ridiculously good. There's a clear goal in the combat system, which is you need to do these 5, 6, 7 things, get stagger, do as much damage, and you have softened rages. If you don't kill it in this time, you're going to die. You're going to run out of resources. And the way they build that is good. The problem with the combat is this is the difficulty curve. Whoop, pew. And this game has the problem where the trash is harder than the fucking bosses. And I almost want to dock it 2 points for that. The trash is harder than the bosses. How many bosses did we wipe to in that entire game? Any? Might have been 0. I don't think we actually wiped to a boss in that game. I don't think we did. But we sure shit wiped to the trash a lot. Did we wipe to a few bosses? Oh, we did wipe. I do remember the one dude. We did on the one dude. I can't think of his name. The dude that turns on us. I know we wiped to that one once. We had to change our group up. Sid. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We wiped to him. Okay, there was a few then, but not many. how many times do we fucking wipe to the trash? Because the trash is stupid cheap. Especially near the end. That trash was fucking dog shit. I almost want to dock it 2 points, but I'm not going to. I think the combat is very, very good, but the trash is atrocious. The difficulty curve on the trash in the late game is so much more fucking difficult than anything else in the game. The gameplay outside of this, the gearing system is bad. The crafting system is bad. The Crucerium system is bad. Crucerium system is the illusion of choice. Because you don't really have a choice. You're just leveling what you do. When you get to the end where everything opens up, you're never going to have enough points unless you just farm indefinitely to use it. So it feels like it's a choice-based system, but it's really not. You're just naturally progressing through each of your trees as you play the game. Because by the time you get to the end of your tree, you're at the end of the chapter and it expands. It's a bad system. So gameplay gets a huge, huge dock. Do we even give this a 1? I don't think we get okay, there's a couple other things we got to talk about here. This is a game on rails, but it's a bad game on rails. Where 10's rails is you can deal with it, you cannot deal with it on 13. It's a really bad game on rails. Yeah, it's just not that good. I think everything outside of combat is just kind of shit. And for the fun factor, it's not a game I plan on picking up ever again, anytime soon or ever again. I'd play 13.2 before I play this again. Because I've only played 13.2 once, and I kind of enjoyed it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not that fun of a game. The combat almost, like, I think the combat redeems part of this, but because of just a few little issues with the combat, it just can't go any more than that. Otherwise, it maybe would be a 3. You know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to give that a 3. The more I think about it, the combat, I was enjoying. Once you got past the boring part of the first 10 hours, from the 10-hour mark all the way towards the end, the combat, I was looking forward to playing this game. And I was really enjoying playing this game, except for when the trash went fucking off the rails. So yeah, I actually did enjoy that. Unfortunately, there was a big part of it that was really frustrating near the end. But yeah, I like the place. I do like the play style and the combat. I had fun doing that. I just didn't have fun with the story, and I don't think the replayability is pretty low on this. And the summary is moms are not tough. Here we are. Eva. We've arrived. Here you go, baby. Eat your food. The story of Final Fantasy 15. Are we giving it a 1? It's a 1 or a 2. It's definitely a 1 or a 2. I think the fact that they bury lore, so much lore, in the movie and other content really drags it down. Yeah, we didn't do much side quests, thank God. And we'll talk about what we had to change at the end of this when we get to gameplay. I'm not proud of it, but we did. The story is The story basically is you leave and then you have to come back home. And you're trying to get the blessings so that you can take over, that you could become king, properly become king. And there's this empire that are really bad. I can't. I can't even, I can't. I can't. The story is so bad. The story is really bad. I just, I feel like again, this game was like three different games in one, where you take the worst qualities of all three games and jam them together. The story doesn't make much sense. The story is designed to be, the story is a feel good story about four dudes traveling on their own. Like, that's the story. And because the characters are really fucking bad, you don't want to go with that story. So let's talk about the characters. You got Mopey. You've got I Know a New Recipe. The guy you like that turns into the guy you hate. And I Want You to Get Trampled by a Chocobo. Those are the four main characters. Your playable characters. Although technically only one of them is really playable. You have Luna, who you do not care about at all, because you don't know anything about her. And then she dies. And you're like, oh, sucks. Arden is awesome. Arden is awesome. But Arden is not saving this piece of shit. I think it's a 1. The characters are really, really bad. If I could give a 0 to combat, I would give it a 0. But I said I'm going to do 1 to 5. If we were doing fractions, I would still give this a 0. This is the worst combat because of the control scheme in any game I have ever played in my life. It is ridiculously non-responsive. The way that they cue their abilities is game-breaking, because you're supposed to attack, get out, do this, and sometimes you can't, because when you get in, your next attack is already queued. You cannot dodge. Oftentimes, I was dodging and blocking, and it just didn't register. Most mobs in this game, even the basic mobs, will just one-shot you by sneezing at you. And that should never fucking happen. But the controls on this game are so bad. I can't even bring this. I can't. It has no redeeming qualities. 0 redeeming qualities when it comes to the combat in this game. It almost started to get good at one point where I was adjusting to the horribleness. It's like adjusting to a bad slice in golf. If you have a really bad slice in golf, and I know this because I have a horrible slice, and then you start aiming to the left to counter your slice, I was countering the bad controls by just not doing anything. And I was slowly starting to get a grasp on a few things, and then they start bringing in the bosses that literally just teleport all the way around and just one-shot you. And you don't even know it's coming. You can't do anything about it. The only fight in this game, and I shit you not, the only fight in this game that I thought was actually any good was the Arden fight. And I think the Arden fight was more symbolic It wasn't designed to be a difficult fight. It should have been more difficult because, and we will talk, I'll just say it now for anybody that didn't notice, we turned the difficulty down from normal to easy when we got to the third to last boss because the cheapness factor of the game was through the roof. So the last 3 bosses of the game we played on easy mode. But Ard and I felt we could have turned that back to normal mode and it would have been a perfectly fine boss because he played like a boss should. He did his abilities, you countered them, you moved around a little bit, you got your shots in. He didn't just go, haha, and dead, like every other fucking boss in this game did. That was the only boss fight that I really enjoyed, and because the fact that we played it on easy mode because of what we assume is going to happen ruined it. I'd give it a 0 if I could. I would give it a 0 if I could. I feel really bad for the developers of that game. The hell that they must have gone through. Like, I don't think anybody play tested it. I honest to God do not think anybody play tested that game. I just don't. Yeah, and the dude that was here. Okay, we had one of the artists that joined us here earlier this week when we were on part 1, I think. It was the first night we were doing this. He was one of the artists. It looks amazing. And the sound is amazing. But all they did is put a lot of makeup on a pig. It's still a pig. You shine that turd up as much as you want, it's still a piece of shit. Gameplay. So this is every other system. The UI is bad. The UI is horrible. For those that missed this, so there's a part where you teleport. You can teleport to like a campsite or some place you've ever been. And you get the map and you use your analog sticks to highlight the one you want to go to. So let's say I want to go from here to here, and I go here and I hover over it, and it says, this is campsite Bob's Funhouse. And then I hit the A button because that's how you select it to go do what you want to do. And then I end up at a completely different place. The fuck is that all about? So you can use your analog stick to highlight which one you want to go to get the name of it. Why? Because there's a list on the side that you have to use the the digital D-pad to then scroll down the list, which is a big fucking list, to find the one that you hovered over to get the name to, then you can teleport it. So what you did was you just teleported the first one on the list. That is, whoever designed that UI, I would like to sit down and talk to and determine why. I'm just curious. Was it, I'd say it was vibe coded, it was AI coded, except that wasn't a thing 10 years ago or 15 years ago, which is when the development started for this game. The UI is dog shit. The fact that they give you a car that you're forced to drive in to get to a bunch of areas until you can teleport, you can fast travel. And then they take it away from you halfway through the game and they force you to walk. And that walk takes a while. I mean, they ain't fast. The only thing that the game gives you is that it's a really nice open world game until it isn't. Because halfway through the game, it ceases being an open world game and it became a game mostly on rails. And it's a little bit more open worldy, but it's basically open world like you're in a dungeon open world. It's not an open world. It's like a big dungeon that you can look around in. And I think they do expect you to play the game to experience the environment and to enjoy the chatter between your characters. Except that the characters make me want to fucking jam a fucking spoon in my ears. I cannot think of anything good of the gameplay. There's a couple of cinematic fights. The Leviathan fight and the Titan fight were precursors to what they ended up landing on in 16. And those were good. Um, but again, we had to downgrade the difficulty just to get through this game. Um, and because I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, this game literally made me rethink gaming as a whole. Like, this game almost got me to just say, fuck it. I'm not finishing this game. We're going to leave it as an incomplete. We're going to move on to the next one. I will say one thing. If we had played this game and then moved on to if we moved on from 15 to 16 and didn't get locked out of De Novo, by the way, De Novo, another thing, not directly about the game, but fucking De Novo is in this fucking game. Then 16 might have been ranked even higher because 16 took everything that was horrible about 15 and made it good. And yeah, I understand what you're saying, but there's no fun in doing this. Warp strike, poke, warp strike out. Warp strike in, poke, warp strike out. Warp strike in, poke, warp strike out. And that's what they want you to do. I'm not doing that. Fuck that. That's not fun. That is not intuitive gameplay. I could train a chimp to do that. Fuck that. The lock-on system, requiring you to hold the button down the entire time to stay locked onto a mob. You can't switch back and forth. There's no way to switch back and forth between your lock-on targets. You have to keep the button held down the entire time, and if it happens to go off screen, by the way, it disables the lock. Like, this is Bush League shit. This is basic stuff, and it failed on every single fucking category. Every category it failed. Every category. And it's because of the development cycle this game went through. It has no focus. It has no fucking focus. Again, if I could give it 0, I would. I at no point in that game, other than the Arden fight, because I knew the game was coming to an end, did I have any fun playing that game. And I wanted to give it a fair shake, and I tried. But it looks good. That is a dog shit game. It is one of the worst games I've ever been forced to play. And I hate that it's a Final Fantasy game, because it's my favorite series. And I hate that. I fucking hate that. It is an incomplete, unfinished piece of shit game. They got 50% done with every piece of that game and they shipped it. That's horrible. Looks good though. 16. Hard 5. I would even bold that 5. I won't do it because it's gonna throw it off. Best story of the series. The story of 16 is so good that the fact that it's not technically it doesn't even feel like a Final Fantasy game because of it's a single player, single character game. That has chocobos and icons that have the names of the summons, and Marlboros and stuff like that. That's the only, again, we say this, I'm going to repeat this statement. The name of the game could have been Clive and Joshua's Big Adventure, and it would have been just as good a game. The story of that game is phenomenal, and it carried it so much higher than it deserved to. So good. Amazingly good. I loved every aspect of the story of that. The characters are very good. I'm not going to give it a 5 because there's so few of them. Clive's a really good character. Josh was a really good character. Sid is a really good character. Jill is okay. Torgal's awesome. Big thumbs up to Torgal. Gav is awesome. Ultima is bad. Ultima is a bad villain. It's one of those villain. Again, it's an MCU typical villain. It's a villain that is completely forgettable. Completely forgettable. And that's you can't give it any game like that a 5. We're gonna give that a 4. The base characters are very good. Their story is insanely emotional. And that again carries it a great distance. This is a combat-driven game. I think the combat for what it is, again, it's not typical of your Final Fantasy. So we're gonna dock it 1 point automatically. It's not a good representation compared to the others, but what it tries to do, it does pretty well. I do think that the way the abilities work, I'm not a typical action platformer that kind of feels like an action platformer. It's not my thing. And I'm not very good at those because I don't have a ton of experience with them. But the combat is, for what it does, is very good. Like, it had a goal. It did everything that 15 did bad, 16 did good. The responsiveness on the control scheme is very, very good. If you have the ability to do, if you do full control over everything, it works out very, very well. It's not a very difficult. It's not a very difficult game. I think we died. Did we ever? We died. We game overed once. I can't remember why. We game overed once. I don't remember why. Oh, because I was standing in the apocalypse thing, and I didn't realize that it was a one-shot period. You can't dodge it. You have to run all the way out of it. I didn't realize the apocalypse was going to kill me. I think that was the only game over we had. So it's not a very difficult game. You can make it more difficult if you wanted to. But for the combat level, it was fine. It did what it wanted to do very, very well. The fact that it's not your typical Final Fantasy game, I gotta dock that. Gameplay also gets a dock here. Everything outside of combat and the story is not good. I don't like the item system. I hate the gear upgrade system. I think it's one of the worst in the series. Not because it's a craftable series, it's because it's not even a craftable. They could just give it to you. Like when you kill the boss that gives you the craftable item, they should just give you the weapon. But no, you have to then take the item into the thing to always get your small incremental upgrades. And there's no other way to do it. Occasionally you'll buy a weapon that skips a tier, and then you upgrade that, but it's materials you just randomly pick up. The rest of the gameplay is very bad. Yeah, I mean, yes, I understand immersion, and that plays fine story-wise, but gameplay-wise, it's just not very good. It does have a hunt system, which we didn't do. This hunt system is pretty good. I have played the hunt system before. And the hunt system is pretty good, but it's nothing to... Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. This is a gameplay thing and not a story thing. 27 hours and 20 minutes we took to beat 16, and I would say half of that at least, if not 15 hours worth, is sitting there watching cutscenes. This is Final Fantasy the movie. If you just want to sit back and watch the movie, it's a good movie. It tells a really good story. You just take the combat out of it, it's a movie, and it's fantastic at that. Gameplay, though, not very good. The overworld travel is okay. It's kind of open world. You get a chocobo, it makes it a little bit faster. But it's not... Like, that's the worst part of it. the icon fights. This is more of a combat thing. I should have lumped this in with combat. Let's back up a step. The icon fights are amazing. Every one of them is amazing. Um, of course, the biggest ones are the Bahamut fight and the Titan fight. Those two, again, it's why the combat's a 4. It wanted to do a certain thing and it did it very, very well. The rest of the icon system, though, where you can change your abilities and then you can learn abilities and then you can, I actually kind of forgot to level up shit near the end of the game. It wasn't important because the game's not very difficult to beat. I kind of forgot and I just didn't do it. We're gonna give it a 2. I actually think the back end gameplay system, everything outside of combat and the story of 16 is pretty bad. It's not very good. And for a role playing game, again, there's not a lot of gameplay because you're watching the movies the whole time. You skip the cutscenes, you can finish that game in 15 hours easy. You could probably 100% that in 15 hours easy if you skip the cutscenes. It is fun though. It's a fun game. I'm gonna dock it a little bit on the fun factor, even though I really enjoyed it. This got a much higher ranking than I thought it was gonna get. I want to give it a 4. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. That's a lot. The 16 didn't have any minigames, unless you count the hunt system. So it didn't have any minigames. Yeah, I kind of want to give it a 3. I had a lot of fun with it. But I played it. Yeah, I'd played it. I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It's weird because this is a game I could play again right now and I would have no objection to it. I would just skip the cutscenes. And the DLC is actually pretty good. Came with it. Yeah. I'll play it again at some point. I'll give that a 3. No, I gotta keep it a 4. I definitely enjoyed it, and there's good replayability there. So we're gonna put it at a 4. And what's the summary of 16? Fuck. Oh fuck me. There was a lot of swearing in that game. I kind of dig it. So that is the full summary. Now I want to check something out. This is the overall ranking based on this. I'm going to sort by it, and we're going to go highest to lowest and see how far we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is surprising right here. It's only difference by 1 point though. So 5. So yeah, 5 and 6 can go either way. And then again, I'm really shocked that 16 made it as high as it did, but that story carries. And the rest of it kind of lines up. 3 and 13 are a little off, but again, it's only 1 point. And then 2 is actually higher than 8. I'm not surprised on that one. 8's such a piece of shit. I am so thoroughly disappointed in 15. And it sucks that we end it on that note. But there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Let me just take a quick screeny here. And we're just going to save that to desktop. Had a lot of fun with doing that series. So here's what's going to happen next. We're going to take a couple days off. we're going to take a couple of days off because I'm not going to be here a couple of days. Probably Wednesday or Thursday, we are going to start our Zelda playthrough. These are our Zelda games that we're going to be playing. We're going to play them in order of release. And these are the systems that we'll be playing them on. Some of these will be emulated, some of them will not. I'll bring my Switch out for the ones that I have. I have most of these on Switch. I just got to hook up my Switch properly through the system. That's actually going to be a pain in the ass. I'm not looking forward to that. It's going to be difficult to set everything up properly for that. I got to set up an external speaker and a couple other things. I don't actually know how I'm going to do that. So we're going to play through them in order of release. Z1, Z2, we're going to play those on emulator. Those are going to be the original NES versions. Link to the Past, of course, is going to be the SNES version. There's nothing we can do about that. Don't play 15. Just don't. Just don't. Oh, that was the other thing I forgot to mention about 15. How the game turns from open world exploration into, at one point, Metal Gear Solid, then turns into Resident Evil. Anyway. So yeah, we'll play the first two. Link's Awakening, we're gonna play the Switch version. Just because it's effectively the same game with a few quality of life improvements, and it sounds better, and you get to hear the sound that Link makes when he drowns, and it makes me laugh every time. Ocarina and that should be MM, not NM. Ocarina and Majora's Mask, we're gonna play the 3DS versions because it fixes the camera. No other reason to that. It fixes the camera. Because the camera in Ocarina and Majora's Mask is kind of bad. So we're going to play those versions on the 3DS. Everything else plays exactly the same. Oracles, those are only in Game Boy Color. There's no choice. No. Oh, that comes out in a couple of months, doesn't it? We might play that at the very end. It comes out in October, right? That's right. I forgot about that. We'll play in October. Yeah, I do have a Switch 2 now. So yeah, it's like October 16th or something like that. Wind Waker, we're going to play the Wii U version just because it's the HD remaster. It's effectively the same game. It has the fast sale. That's pretty much it. MC, what's MC? Minish Cap. Game Boy Advance only. Twilight Princess, we're probably going to play the Wii U version. I actually have no idea what the difference between those two is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like October 16th. It was I think it was in the trailer. I'll have to look that for Twilight. I don't know which version of Twilight Princess we're gonna play. I had the GameCube version of Twilight Princess, or was it the Wii version? Was it on Wii? What was Twilight Princess on? Was that on Wii or is that GameCube? That was GameCube. PH. Oh, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Those are DS only games. Skyward Sword, we're gonna play the Switch version because I don't want to have to fucking play with the Wiimote on that. Link Between Worlds, by the way, if you've never played Link Between Worlds, find a way to play it. It's a fantastic game. I fucking love that game. We'll be playing that on 3DS. It's the only version you have. And then Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Echoes of Wisdom. Those are Switch games. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing with the Switch. I own every one of these games with the exception of the Skyward Sword remake. I don't own that one. I own Skyward Sword. I technically don't own it now. I had a copy of it. So I don't know if I might emulate those. I don't know how well Tears of the Kingdom emulates. That would be my only problem. I know Breath of the Wild emulates pretty good, but you got to play it at 30 FPS. I'm assuming Tears of the Kingdom is the same. But I could always get my Switch hooked up. It's just a pain in the ass. So we're going to start those later this week. Some of these games will take one night, like Z1, Link to the Past. Those are going to be one-nighters. A couple of these are going to be like one or two-nighters. A few of them will be a little bit longer. I haven't played through some of these in a long time, so we'll see. But we'll be starting those next. Z2 is going to be at least a multi-nighter because I don't remember much about it, and Z2 is a very, very difficult game. Zelda 2 is the hardest game on this list, and I don't think it's close. I think the difficulty of Z2 is 2 steps above the next hardest game on this list, which I can't even identify. I don't know what the second hardest game on this list is. I have no idea. But Z2 is very difficult, and it is it's probably the game on this list I know the least, even though I have beat it twice. I beat it once on the original NES back when I was a kid, and I beat it here on stream maybe 10 years ago. I think the VOD is still on YouTube. We did beat this on stream about 10 years ago. So, it's the last time I've touched it. Yeah, Thunderbird. It's the Thunderbird right before the Shadow Link. Yeah. Thunderbird's the hardest boss in the game. Easy. Hardest boss in the game. So. All right, boys and girls, that's going to do it. We'll see you. Enjoy your week. We'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday. That's my guess. Is Wednesday or Thursday is when we're going to get started. And we'll do a similar system. I really enjoyed the Final Fantasy. It's just a shame we ended it on such a stinker. So, have a great week, guys, and we'll catch you later.